This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.
He's a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee in 2022, iHeartRadio Music Festival in 2022, Love Rocks NYC for us in 2023 at the Beacon, multiple Grammy winner, multi-millions of albums sold. All the info, Benatar, He's also a producer, songwriter, musician, guitarist, TV and film score, as well as TV and film producer, screenwriter, and now a distiller with 3 Chord Bourbon. One of my favorite guitar players, Neil Giraldo, joins us. Neil, right off the start here, we got to talk about the end of this street. On the corner of 7th Avenue and 55th Street, there's a place called the Wellington Hotel. Unfortunately, no longer there.
Yeah.
But this played a big part in your early time in New York. Tell us about that.
A big part. That's a hell of an intro, by the way. I gotta say that's like too much stuff. Actually, no, it was beautiful. Thank you. To Wellington. When I came to New York first to audition for Rick Derringer, and that was in the beginning of 1978, I believe. Yes, and then I got the gig, and when I got the gig, they put me up at the Wellington. So it was like, well, actually, let me step back for a second. While I was going through the audition process with Rick, they put me in a hotel, maybe anticipating I would be in the top, those last 5, which I was. Rick said there was over 200 guitar players. I don't know, he could have auditioned over 200.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's what he said. That's a lot, but that's Rick.
10's a lot.
10's a lot,
yeah,
I know. But that's what he said, but that's insane. But, they had, I loved the Wellington Hotel.
Yeah.
It became home for me. I mean, and then after I joined the band, they wanted to ask me if I wanted to go somewhere else. I said, no, I just want to stay at the Wellington.
Fantastic, classic Art Deco hotel in Midtown Manhattan.
There was a doorman named Pops. I called him Pops. The greatest guy. He used to get me sausage sandwiches from Smilers and beer. And he'd put them out in front of my door, and he'd just go, do a little knock.
Good old days, man.
And I'd watch the Yankees, and I was right by the E of Wellington. Right by the neon sign outside. Oh, in that corner room, I loved it.
I love it. Speaking of Rick Derringer, instrumental, obviously, in kickstarting your career.
Absolutely.
We recently lost him. He just passed. And you have, and we're going to get into the Bourbon Company, but the latest one that somebody sent me from your team, there's a photo of you on the cover of this bottle of bourbon.
Correct.
And that photo was taken during your era with Rick Derringer.
Yeah.
Hold that bottle up for our camera so we can get a good look at this. What is the name of this brand?
This is called Strange Collab, and that's short for Strange Collaboration. Strange Collab. There it is. Whoa. There you go. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, this is it's interesting. We just did our whole relaunch and new label designs, and we came up with this idea of, concentrating on vinyl records and how important it was to record with vinyl in the early days.
Yes.
From 78s to obviously 33s. I wasn't 78, or I'd be like 1,000 years old. But this photo on here was done. I didn't even know it existed. I'm going to get this year wrong. Maybe 10 years ago, somebody sent it to me. A great guy's name is Michael Brennan. He sent it to me, and he goes, I took these pictures of you, and I went, well, this is like a pretty iconic picture. I mean, I don't even remember doing that, but I did it. I can't do it now. You see that little pose? I can't do that now. I ain't going to even try that. But, that's an iconic picture that he captured.
Do you know what year that photo was? It had to be late 7, like.
Oh, yeah. Should it be in 78?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And, Rick's passing was really traumatic for me. I mean, he was more than a bandmate. There was so much that he did for me. I mean, incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I was completely shocked and tore up from it.
Yeah.
Because it was unexpected. I didn't realize that. I didn't know he's having heart complications. And, we've been speaking on and off,
Right.
He's supposed to be on my, Christmas record. I had him scheduled to write a song I started for him.
Yeah.
All these things. But the important thing with Rick is that it was so much more than just joining a band. What he taught me just by his presence and being around him I would have never got where I am today if it wasn't for his mentoring.
Sounds like a lot of sort of like ground rules of rock and roll, the beginning of a rock and roll band.
And
right?
it wasn't
this
spoken.
is-
And that's the thing. It wasn't always spoken. I just watched and listened and watched and listened, you know? And it was
Yeah.
it meant so much to me. And then we were doing this cruise, this rock cruise, which I hate those things, by the way, I'm just saying. I mean, people love them. I get that, but those things make me nuts. But on that cruise, he says, you know what? It's interesting. He goes, you joined my band at the same age I joined Johnny Winter's band. So
Oh,
he
wow.
joined Johnny Winter and when he was 22, and I was
Yeah.
22 when I joined Rick's band.
Wow.
And he thought that was really important to him. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And it's more important to me, actually, I felt.
Okay, so 3-chord bourbon.
Yes.
3 chords in the truth is
That's
what
right.
immediately came to mind.
Yeah.
3-chord bourbon. When did you start this and why? And how's it going so far? We got a couple other bottles here. Let's hold those up. You got one for the Almond Brothers.
That's him. There's Almond Brothers. Yeah.
Yep, which is great. And then the other one is Hailstorm.
Yeah, Lizzie
Hale, right?
That's her. Woo-hoo.
So tell
She's
us
in
what this
pink.
is all about, man.
Yeah. So I started this company almost 9 years ago. We've been going out for 9 years, which is spectacular. And it was in the month of May of 2016. That's when
Okay.
we started. May 12th, 2016. So what I was doing, because other than your very, gracious intro that you said, I also write screenplays.
Yeah.
So I was working on one for my friends and people I know, musicians from where I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
Where there's some great ones, like amazing players, great bands like Perubu and, the Dead Boys, and all kinds of great bands. Joe Walsh, all these people, right? Even though Joe was from Jersey, he's an adopted
Was
Clevelander.
Michael Stanley?
Michael Stanley
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Great musicians, right? So I had this idea, I'm going to write this screenplay, a hybrid documentary. So on the front part of this documentary is actually a real film, a story. And on the back is a real story. But in the middle is interviews and exposing these people, these musicians, their lives and where they were then and where they are now. So that was the gist behind doing the documentary. So a friend of mine saw me post something on social media, and he said, do you need help with this? I go, yeah, okay, sure. What can you do? And then I got together with him. He says, I can get a spirits company to give us some angel money
Okay,
spending. So,
yeah,
a little bit.
financing, yeah.
So we could do a trailer.
Yeah.
Which is a great idea because it's an independent film. I wasn't
totally,
trying
yeah.
to get a major release
Right.
for that, right? So he looked at me and I says, that's a great idea, but why don't we start our own company? He goes, are you serious? I do things like that. When I get an idea, I do move pretty quick. He laughed and he goes, are you serious? I said, yeah. So I started the Bourbon Company and I didn't finish the screenplay. But I
Oh,
will.
wow.
But I will get around to it. I promise I will.
Yeah, of
I will,
course.
definitely, because it's practically done. So.
And how does it become like an Almond Brothers sort of thing, or a Hailstorm, or
Correct.
The other ones you have?
Yes. Well, so the fundamental basis for 3-chord was to support musicians. I love family, and I love the family of musicians. So how could we incorporate and help other musicians and let their voices be heard, right? And work as a family. Because I had visions, and I still do, of 3-chord stages where we can have different bands that support 3-chord and not just bands that have successful careers, but up-and-coming bands and people that are trying and doing
Yeah.
what they're doing. And I don't care about the genre. You could do anything you want. If you're real and you're speaking the truth, hit the stage with us.
Yeah.
So we started a backstage series, and then people were coming to us and say, can we be part of your backstage series? Lizzie Hale did it. We got a lot of bands. And then the Almond Brothers came forth, and to me, the Almond Brothers, I grew up listening to Almond
Come
Brothers.
on, Live at Fillmore, forget about it.
That thing is, I even nicked the end of Whipping Post for Hell is for Children at the end. Not exactly nicked it, but I wanted a crescendo, so I wanted to do that same kind of build crescendo thing.
Yeah.
But I was in local bands at Cleveland, growing there, and we always had 2 guitar players. We wanted to be like the Almond Brothers.
Right.
One guy do that, the other
The
guy
harmony
do that.
solos,
Harmony
right?
solo,
Yeah.
slide, all that stuff, So I was really excited getting them. Again, sad that Dickie passed away too.
Yeah.
But,
Well, you can get all the info on this at 3chordbourbon.com.
Yes.
And you and your lovely wife, Pat, or Patricia Benatar, being honored here in the city with the Why Hunger ASCAP Harry Chapman Humanitarian Award. And this award recognizes artists who use their global influence to inspire change and foster social justice. Past honorees include John Mellencamp, Barbara Streisand, Pete Seeger, Jackson Brown, Elvis Costello. So you're in pretty awesome company with this award. Tell us about this.
Yeah, this was a very gracious award. Anytime you get an award like this, you feel as though you're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. It's impossible, with the success of this. And this is going on 50 years. This is the 50-year anniversary. I mean, this is spectacular. The foundation, the Harry Chapman Foundation, the family, what they're doing is spectacular. ASCAP, I've been with ASCAP for forever.
Yeah.
Right? So this is a great group of people to be associated with. And we are extremely honored. But like I said, it's, just like when you get into the Rock Hall, you feel like you're cutting in line. Where's Wynonie Harris? And then all these people that work so hard, you don't know the names of these people that are, when you do a foundation too, because I have foundations, when you do them, it's not just the thought and a dream and an idea. It's resources, administration.
Yes.
There's so much goes into
the legwork, the backroom stuff.
That's what it is. It seemed like a show, a live show. You're just walking up there and playing for, an hour and a half, 2 hours. Everybody else is doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Right? But it's a great honor. I mean, we're extremely honored to.
Neil, you are one of only a very few guitar players whose riffs in all of your songs, how do I put this? They really are more than riffs. They're almost like vocal melodies. And I said the same thing about Elliot Easton of the Cars.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few others, but your riffs, for lack of a better term, are so memorable as lyrics of the songs, like In Love is a Battlefield, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Hell is for Children, Shadows of the Night, Fire and Ice, so many more. Did these riffs just come out of the blue, like on the first take and you're in the studio, or were you like, let me make this really count? I want to make this particular riff and this part of the song really be important and sort of like the glue to keep this song together and going.
Right. They're an afterthought, because the song is the most important thing to me. The melody of the song and the structure and the architect of the song, where instruments play and where they go. As a producer, and songwriting is another process, but as a producer, when I get into a song and I rip it apart, I see it and I hear it finished. All the way, right? And then I have to instruct other players what I'm thinking we should be going to. But when it comes for a solo, my thought is, again, it's an afterthought, but it's a part that needs to be in the song, if it does need to be in it, okay? So if you're listening and you're a singer, people are singing. They're not singing the melodies of the guitar melodies in the solos, though maybe they can hum them and they kind of like what's going on, but they're singing the song. So what happens when the singer stops singing? I'm thinking, I don't want people to be bored. And what I would always do is this: I would know where I want to start, and I know where I'm going to end. In the middle, I have no idea. I usually, with Patricia, I wait till the end of her last note. I either take that note, start it from that note, and I continue on, and I just let it kind of go. And then when I come out of it, how am I going to exit? Where's my egress? How do I get out of here to come back so she's gentle? Because when she comes back in, she's not coming in as she went. She's not coming back as she went out. You know what I'm saying? And you're going out strong. You're coming back in easy.
But you know what I mean when I say you're one of a few guitar players that has this ability to, and it's just a natural God-given thing that you have. It's like the melodies you play on the guitar are almost like the vocal melody. Most people remember the lyrics.
Yes.
Most people remember the vocal melodies. Not as many people remember the guitar lines, but as a guitar player myself, you can probably tell that.
Yes.
These are like, they're just embedded in my, it's almost like I'm singing the rest of the song. Meanwhile, no, he's singing, it's your guitar playing.
Well, correct. So the songwriting process is this. I don't play riffs, and I don't take that riff and then, Patricia or John Wade or anybody I write songs with or whatever, I don't play a riff and then they write a song. It's not it. I sit there on the piano and I write melodies. I'm always writing melodies. That's how I write songs. I write melodies. I say stupid words while I'm writing these melodies, and I come back and focus on the words, because the words are extremely, extremely important to me. But a title or an idea of a song will give me a melody, and I'll get rolling out. So that's the reason the guitar stuff does it, is because it's coming from the songwriting process.
Right.
How I write songs. I'm not going to write. Jimmy Page is great. Ba-boom, ba-ba-ba-boom, ba-boom, boom. And then Robert Plant comes in and he sings that melody of blues. That's not how we do it. I use guitar riffs after the song's almost written.
Right.
Basically.
Okay. Neil Giraldo is with us, and Neil, until I saw the Foo Fighters documentary, Sound City, I did not know that perhaps one of my favorite Neil Giraldo guitar solos is on Rick Springfield's Jesse's Girl. Yeah. You've told this story a million times, but tell it again for us, please.
Sure. Yeah, so Rick, great guy. So he had the song, and as soon as I heard the demo he had, I go, this song's a hit. It's definitely a hit. I totally get it. And Keith Olsen, who was producing the record, along with myself and Rick, he said, I'd love for you to play on this thing. And I said, it's great. I said, but we have to get the feel a little bit different. Even Rick mentions it. It was kind of stiff, like it was like ding, 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 ding. And obviously the first thing I thought was, we got to swing, da, 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 da.
Swing it, yeah.
You give it a good swing, right? And we did some stuff in the middle eight. But anyway, same thing. I says, leave 16 measures in there. I'll come up with a solo when we're done if you like it. So anyway, we're in the studio cutting it. And I always...
At Sound City, right?
At Sound City.
Yeah.
We always do, or not, most part, it's guitar and drums. It's like the buddy system. We go live. Even Promises in the Dark. All those songs are all live. That's when me counting us back in, and Promises in the Dark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's me doing that. But the idea is that we play in a buddy system. One person screws up, we're doing a song again. If I do it, my mistake, we do it again, right? So Rick had this pit bull terrier, and he's floating around the studio. He went everywhere with Rick, and Rick's in his vocal booth, so he lets a dog into the studio while we're cutting the song in the room. I'm playing like this. Mike Baird's playing drums over here. The dog walks up, sits down right in front of me, and puts his nose right in my crotch.
Come
right
on.
There. Oh, yeah, right there. I'm playing and looking at Rick, and he's laughing. I'm thinking, I won't stop the song, but if he bites, I'm biting back.
Yes.
This ain't going to work.
Or kicking.
So, and I kept thinking, but does he do this all the time? Like if you screw up, the dog's going to bite you or something like that. So, so we did, and we were all laughing and stuff.
And you kept the solo?
That was the track. That was the rhythm track.
That was a rhythm track. Oh,
While
okay.
we're cutting the rhythm track, that wasn't a solo. I was done in the control room. That was
still
out in the main
amazing
room.
Story. Wow.
Yeah, it was funny. But he also would show me how the dog can compress basketballs. He said, "Throw a ball at him." I throw a ball.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's a huge hit, but even on Hit Me With Your Best Shot, that solo you do, every time I play it here on the radio, I stop and I still listen to it. You seem like you're just flying free and having the best time. You're just flying free, right? I mean...
Well, I try to take the context of the song. Obviously, it's a cliche song. It's a silly lyric. It's goofy. It's fun. It's supposed to be that tongue-in-cheek and everything, right? So I thought I wanted the solo to be kind of animated. A little cartoonish. Start like you notice right away. The beginning is like, here you go.
Yeah.
My beginnings are going to say, take a listen.
Right.
I'm
Pay
trying
attention.
to get you to listen. Pay attention to that. So yeah.
Fantastic. When albums like Jeff Beck's Blow by Blow and Wired come out in the 70s, and other people like John McLaughlin's Mahavishnu Orchestra, were you blown away by what people could do with the guitar then? Were those two guys sort of like, oh my God, these guys are on another level?
Oh yeah, total singing instruments. Totally different. Jeff Beck is, he evolved his playing so much. I mean, he still had the attack. That was important. His attack always stayed the same. But to go from truth, with the nastiness of truth and really aggressive, that's what I loved about
Nasty
it. The way
blues.
he attacked the instrument, and being my father being a carpenter, and he was always making me do I was always a physical guy. My hands are really strong. My grip is strong. I still can't even use like a wine glass. I crush them because I can't tell. I can't tell what I'm doing. I'll either drop it because I'm afraid I'll squeeze too hard, or I squeeze too hard without knowing it, right? So the way he attacked, and then he went to this real fluid, beautiful melodic stuff. And John McLaughlin too. That's like insane.
Yeah,
those guys. I appreciate it, loved it, and stayed away from it. This is your own heaven. I'm not walking into those gates. It's all yours, baby.
It was suggested to me that I ask the question, why Love is a Battlefield and The Boys of Summer from Don Henley have something in common.
Oh, I hope somebody out there can take those two songs and dissect them and show them how much alike they really are. Because Love is a Battlefield, 1983, Boys of Summer, 1984. And it sure sounds like the same. And I know who said they were going to steal it.
So there is a drum machine involved in this story,
Mm-hmm.
right? What is the drum machine? And tell us more if you want to.
Yeah, it's a Lindrum. And if you go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you will see that Lindrum with all my notes that I did on it because I used it quite a bit. I have all the different tempos. I use the China markers for everything, so there's all kinds of marks. Yeah, but I heard somebody talk about how they did it. I'm thinking, did they hear my story? Because I was out way before with that story. Where did that come from? And there's so many similarities. So, I programmed it. It was my first day of having a Lindrum.
Right.
I have witnesses too. The first day of having an instrument, and I made a mistake because I recorded. It was all going by, and I wanted to fix something. Instead of hitting stop, I hit record, and it erased 2 measures. So it's a 6-bar phrase that keeps going around.
Oh.
Any drummer that tries to write it out or analyze it, they'll realize a kick drum changes its position.
Yeah.
It doesn't stay in the same
It's
position.
one of those happy accidents.
It just keeps going. Yeah, it goes around. And it's just basically a Bo Diddley beat sped up. I'm hoping some great musical
A and B,
person
those 2 songs.
Yeah, put the tempo at it. Check out the parts. Check out the guitar parts. Check out the drum machine. Check out the feel. Check out how it goes.
Okay.
It's exactly the same.
Tell us about your night getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Sheryl Crow inducted you guys, but who did you meet? Who did you jam with? Tell me your highlights of that night.
Yeah, there were so many. It was like it was so funny backstage because David Grohl, he's everywhere. Like he's you walk outside your door, you'll see him there. He's everywhere. He's walking the halls. Hey, Spider, how you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? He's everywhere, right? So you just see people everywhere. I love the Judas Priest. Those people are just fantastic. Dolly Parton, spectacular. Sweet Dreams. I should know that.
Oh, Eurythmics.
Yeah.
Annie
Lennox.
Thanks to her. Yeah.
Yeah, the doll. I love her. So she was fantastic. Everybody was great. It was just, it's a little bit surreal because you're playing and you're looking down and you're seeing Lenny Kravitz and he's jamming, and you're seeing Bruce Springsteen and you're seeing Alicia Pink and you're seeing all these people and you're going, what are we doing playing for you guys? Like, this is like insane. So there's a surreal moment up to it.
I was going to say, you're going to be at Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
That is October 30th, and that is with Bryan Adams as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the first time you played New York City? Was it with Rick Derringer, or was it
with Rick?
Where did you play? Tell us about it.
Oh, I can't remember. I just know that I came from playing
Max's or something, or what? Like
no, I can't remember actually now. But I came from Cleveland playing in front of 50 people at the Brown Derby to Rick's band, who we played a few clubs to warm up. Next thing you know, we were opening up for top band. I mean, we were right in the major leagues.
Well, you were pretty soon with Rick playing arenas, right?
And arenas. Arenas
yeah.
and stadium, the whole thing, big shows. And I don't remember where we first played, but it was Rick.
All the tour dates you can get Benatar, Giraldo.com and the Bourbon, 3chordbourbon.com.
Correct.
What else can we talk about? We talk about the production company, TV and film. Anything you want to share with us?
Well, I do have a film. I'm going to compose the music to this film coming up by a good friend of mine, Jeffrey Kramer, director. It's called The Same Sky. Hopefully that should be happening maybe in the fall.
Okay.
I got a couple of new projects I'm doing. I have a solo record I'm in the process of doing.
Oh, okay.
And I'm in the process of finishing the book that I started writing 60 years ago.
Just the memoir?
This is the memoir story. And the problem it's so difficult for me to finish writing it is this. Because the story is interesting and unique. Everybody's story is unique. And there's a lot of information, educational information in there that can possibly help somebody. And if that happens, that's what I'm trying to do. But now that I'm going to be 70 this year, I'm not holding back shit anymore.
No.
There's lies out there. These lies out there are going to be corrected. I'm not dealing with it any longer. I've kept quiet for a long time. So the idea of the memoir is supposed to be a story. I want it to be read like you can read a fictional story, though it won't be fiction. It's nonfiction.
I have a recommendation for you.
Yes.
Peter Wolf's memoir.
Yeah, I heard it's good.
Jay Giles. Peter Wolf. Go get it. You'll love it.
Okay, Pete.
I don't know if he did exactly what you want to do, but it sounds like he sort of attempted the sort of same thing.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but you can get it.
I'll get it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have been approaching it as a writer. So rather than getting so bogged down with dates, even though dates are important, times are important, not just giving you information by date, but expanding the story, how it Just let it. So you're reading. You want the same thing like this. When you have to give a congratulatory speech at the end. You have to have some entertainment value to it.
Yeah.
Because I can't see people yawning during a speech. I can't see that. If I see that, I go crazy. So have some entertainment value. Same with a book. Have some entertainment value. But be cautious out there, people. Be cautious.
Look out.
Truth's coming. Truth to the power.
That's right.
Look out. It's coming.
We'll come back when that's ready.
Yes, I
will.
will.
I want to read that, first of all, and I want to talk about it. He is Neil Giraldo, and the bourbon is 3-Chord Bourbon. You can go to 3chordbourbon.com.
Good stuff, man.
Benatargiraldo.com for all the info on Neil and his lovely wife, Patricia. The tour dates with Bryan Adams, October 30th, Madison Square Garden. Neil, real pleasure to speak to you, man.
Pleasure speaking with you as well.
Come back soon, man.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. Yeah, try this. It's really good. And it's not only is the design beautiful and our fundamental values behind the company are amazing, the juice is great. It is really, really great. It could stand on its own with a paper bag wrapped around it. Not that I'm encouraging that. I don't encourage that. Let me just say that. But yeah,
thank you, Neil.
Good stuff. Thanks.
This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.